Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Keep Gaming Reviews. Today we're reviewing Loki episode 3. And this was not your typical Loki episode, and I mean that by the longevity of the time, the duration. This was a short one. And there's a lot of things going on here, but not so much going on. So there's like key moments in this episode, and we're gonna get into it. But I felt like they could have went right to it and they kind of like dragged it apart. But we are here today is both myself and Mr. Johnny BoomBotz. What's up, Johnny?
What's going on, Lan Mind? How you doing today?
Good, brother. Good. So let's get right into it. What were your thoughts right after the credits rolled? What emotions were going through you? What were you questioning? What was your thoughts on the entire episode?
So to start off with, it was a slow burn. The
Yeah.
beginning of the episode was definitely a slow burn. I mean, they had like that whole like love story kind of thing going on to it. It felt kind of like an awkward, but it was very much a showing. I think the way that Loki is self-centered and loves himself. So it was along those lines of like he's loving himself, but not himself at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
because he is self-centered. He is like and but I gotta say the end of it left me wanting more, as they have been doing. The ending of it definitely had me going, uh, like don't leave me with that. Like
Yeah, yeah.
just and it left me with a lot of questions. It left me with a lot of theories. Nowhere near what WandaVision left me with, but it did leave me
Mm-hmm.
with theories, and my old theories that I came on the last episode with, I think are coming true to some
Okay.
extent. So yeah, we'll see. But what about you?
I could tell you right off the bat, everything that I predicted last episode that I thought this episode was gonna be was not it.
But
I thought we were gonna get a little bit more of her backstory. We now know that she's not Lady Loki, and I thought we were gonna dive more into like her past. Like when the episode first started, it was weird because for a second I was confused. Right? She's with they're sitting at a table. It looks like they're on vacation, and her name is Sylvie, right? I think that's what it's
yes,
called.
Sylvie.
So Sylvie's sitting with a Minuteman officer, and they're having drinks. And the first thing that came to my mind, I'm like, oh, this is the backstory. Like they know each other. That's why she selected her. Like that was my
That's what I
thing.
thought too. Right.
And then it shows that she was doing some mind control, kind of like what with WandaVision, well, WandaVision, what with
Wanda
Scarlet Witch
Maxim.
was doing.
Right.
Yeah. And I was lost. I'm like, oh man, that's how she got the information. So I said, all right, fine. Now we're gonna dive into we're gonna start where we left off, and they're gonna travel through time. It wasn't that. They started off on, I forgot the name of the planet they were on, but it was the year 2077, and this
Yeah.
was another apocalypse nexus event, and the world was coming to an end. Like the moon was crashing down into the earth that they were on. And I just kept saying to myself, like, okay, we're gonna get out of here, and they're gonna be playing cat and mouse. And it wasn't like that. And I didn't know what the episode was gonna bring. I was literally at the edge of my seat, like, okay, hurry up, give me more, give me more. And then I noticed I moved my mouse because I was watching it on my computer this morning. Usually I watch it on my phone. Don't ask me why. And I moved and I said, wait, this episode is short. They need to hurry up. They need to give me some information. This is not what we're used to. The first two episodes were like 51 minutes long. This was about 41 minutes. And I'm like, no, this can't be. This is gonna be a filler. And that's what I felt it was, bro. I don't know how you felt. I just felt like it was just a filler and they didn't give me anything that I wanted.
You see, I can understand where you think that. Well, you could see the filler part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew right away when I saw it, I'm like, you were gonna like. I knew why you didn't like the show. I knew why you didn't like. You weren't a fan of the episode, like right
Yeah.
off the bat. Um, but for me though, I do understand the filler part, but I don't think it was so much of a filler because they give a lot of information. They give a little bit of the backstory to the two of them. They show the powers. They give you a quick, so they give you a quick rendition of like, oh, how she got the powers. She learned them herself. She taught herself the powers. But they give a little bit more of a Loki. They show Loki has more human nature to him than what he appears. He's a god, but he does have a heart. So you see a little bit of a tier between of him of like which way they're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
They gave the fight scene, which
You
they
know, it
did
was
not.
good.
They didn't explain though how he got the green power, which he never had before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The green Hadoukens. They never showed that before. Um, but the part that really stuck out to me the most was, and I said it to my wife right after watching it. At the end of the credits, the music that was playing. Marvel has always done almost all their episodes and all their shows their music goes to whatever the story is.
Yeah, yeah.
They usually always, so the very end of it was saying big planet, it's going to be coming down or whatever, because of love, and love, I'm doing this for love or whatever, and you destroy the planet for love, the whole 9 yards. So what made me, in my mind, what was going with was, we know King the Conqueror.
Yeah.
We know he's involved.
Yes.
We know that he's the love interest, or he's with the one agent, the one time agent, what's her face?
Ravana, I think his name. I can't remember the exact name, but go ahead.
Right, but we know who. So we know that her and him are together.
Mm-hmm.
She knows how to contact them, how to get in touch with them, the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we found out. We thought that all the agents knew where they were, how to get in touch with them, but we found out they don't, because she just said it's the elevator, the gold elevator. They didn't say how to get to them from there. Which, if we see the credits, the gold elevator, there's a floor that you can't get to. It's locked.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably the floor of Kang or whoever else is involved with this.
Okay.
Being that factor, though, goes back to my original thing, when they also said, when she said, oh yeah, before they were timekeepers, they were, before they were timekeepers, they were human just like us. They were variants.
Mm-hmm.
The people were variants, and they became timekeepers before they started fighting for them.
Yeah, that was towards the end. Yeah.
Right, which means that they don't know that they all think that they were born there. They don't remember their past life.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, now think about Mobius. Mobius, remember, he kept going into the office. The same water rings were there over and over again. And I said last time too, all those artifacts that he got, and he kept saying like, "Oh, well, where did you get the other artifacts from?" And she's like, "Oh, it's another agent or whatever." He's like, "Oh, you're working with somebody else?" Mm-hmm. So I think it's still Mobius has been working with her the whole time. She keeps on erasing his memory. So therefore, and she's the only one that knows. So she knows they're being memory erased because she's working on behalf of Kang.
So they have the Men in Black pen.
Right, essentially, yeah. Basically, just flash, you're done.
Yeah.
So I'm really thinking that it's Kang the Conqueror, again, we know is running the whole scene, working with her, and she's erasing the memory of the Timekeepers, and that's why she just keeps going with it. So they're trying to get Loki, which is most likely what's going to happen, is they're trying to get Loki to work with them, because they want to have this kind of guy on their side. So that's why they're trying to keep Mobius close to him, because Mobius doesn't realize what he's doing, because he keeps getting his memory erased probably. But Kang the Conqueror knows that he needs a god, and who else to get but the god of mischief? Okay. And why not get two of them? Why not get different variants of them?
Maybe that's why they want to capture. Okay.
So I definitely think there's way more in play. And they did drop that huge ball today of the fact that they're humans working prior to, they were human before they were timekeepers.
Now, the interesting part about that is we don't know how she has that information. We don't know how she acquired that information. It's just something that over time, because she said that she's been it's been a long time for her to get to where she is. So she's been in and out of the timekeepers facility, whatever. Well, not their facility, because in the beginning of the episode, she realized that her power doesn't work there. So that indicates she's never been there before. But right. Taking over the Minutemen is nothing new to her. She's done this before. So I'm wondering if she's been, going through their memories and trying to figure out who they were. How did she obtain that information that she knows that they were not born there? They are variants of their own selves, and they've been pretty much brainwashed, and they don't know that. This is why we know this by Mobius having this obsession with the 90s and the whole jet skiing thing. These are memories of his that he hasn't really captured yet because his mind has been wiped. But again, there's no concrete evidence. This is the answer that we wanted, and we got it. But where did she get it from? I needed more explanation. So they left us with a cliffhanger there. Yeah,
I agree. But I also think, though, too, is that because she didn't say that they don't know about their past life. Loki dropped that information. So Loki knows because of the fact that Loki had the conversation. He was in the TVA building, had the conversation with them, and said, when the guy behind the counter, the weird guy that was like all nervous.
Yes, he didn't know anything about fish.
He's the one that said that, right. I've been living here my whole life. I was born here.
Yeah.
So he put that two and two together. I'd have to go back and rewatch it again to see if she gets shocked by that information, or if she's kind of taken back, or if she
her reaction
her reaction to it. I got to take a look at that again, but.
Yeah, and then they are trying to use the timestamp. I think that's what it's called, right? The little iPad.
The little iPad thing.
Yeah, they're trying to use that so they can exit the world that they're in. And they have a little fighting back and forth, which I thought was interesting. And what I like their chemistry, like we've how do I say it? we've enjoyed Owen Wilson's Mobius with, you know, Tom Hiddleston's Loki as a partner. Now we're getting the same character kind of, because she is some sort of Loki-ish kind of character. She doesn't even like to be called Loki. She changed her name.
Right.
You're getting that element from a woman's perspective, and then seeing that he is a god. He's been through this already, and he's looking at her like she's the rookie, right? And he's like, it amazes me how you've gotten this far, like making fun of her, saying that he's surprised because she makes a lot of mistakes. She's kind of not on his level, where
Right.
she calls him a magician, which I thought was hilarious. And then she called him a clown. Some of these like Earth things that they probably wouldn't have known. And it's just funny, their chemistry together I thought was hilarious. Once they find their way to the train, so that way they can get to the ship so they can exit, there's that fight scene after she wakes up, right? She had fallen asleep, and I'm
Right.
like, is this is what I was thinking. I still kind of believe it, but then I don't. This is just a crazy theory. She fell asleep, and he got into her mind, making her believe everything that happened that we saw was actually real, but it really wasn't. Now I know this might sound crazy. If you watch the episode, you don't see them go to sleep. You literally just see her wake up, and he's singing, and he's not wearing the uniform, which he reminded me when he was wearing that uniform. You know that like that techno song where the guy, la la la. He looked
Oh
like
my
that
God.
guy.
Yeah,
Yo,
yeah.
he looked like that guy. I don't know who the guy is, bro. He looked like that with the fucking helmet on, bro. I was like, yo.
Yo, I was like, yeah,
He
okay, I
looked
can
like
tell
that
what
guy. I was
does.
like, yo, he looks
He
like, I can't
definitely
remember
does.
his name. I couldn't even look it up.
Oh,
But
my
anyway,
God.
so he's not wearing
Now I
the
gotta look it up.
uniform. He's wearing his variant jacket with his clothes. He's singing some Asgard song. And it's like, is he seeing if she knows the Asgard song? Like, he's looking at her, and then he just starts singing and dancing. And then she's like, where's your uniform? And then you saw someone walk away. They come back with the agents. And then they fight. Then they leave. And then, obviously, the time pad breaks. But in my mind, I'm thinking, since she woke up, would she have noticed that he had taken over her mind and that all of this is just an illusion?
That's an interesting point because, that's an interesting point because they do jump pretty fast to
Yeah.
the location where they were trying to get to with the train,
Yeah.
and it just so happens that they jumped there. I don't know, because now we know the time is not really,
But
it's wibbly wobbly, so it's
Yeah.
kind of like, that's a really good, interesting question because what I found interesting with that was when they got to the location of the ship. They
towards the end.
decided that, they decided they were going to take on the ship and they were going to leave because that's the one thing that never happened before.
Yeah.
A building was coming down, and he's
Yes.
like, "Don't worry, I got this," and he
Yes.
reversed time and put it back up again. I have never seen him do that before, ever, and I don't know how he knew how to do that. It's
I have a
not
theory.
something that he's done.
Mhm.
Then you go forward, and once the meteors start coming through, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it looks as if like time froze for all of them. Like everybody around them froze.
Mhm.
The meteors were still coming. The camera spun around while everything
Yeah.
else is moving except for them, and then it goes back into full speed action again. And then at the end of it, like everybody, once this thing happens, everybody's like, "Oh well, fuck it, we got nowhere to go. Why are we even going to bother fighting?" And they just look at each other like, "Time to go home now. We're dead anyway." So it's like, and also the moon coming through. I don't know if it was just me, but that moon did not look like a moon to me. It looked like it had a ring around the middle of it,
Yeah.
like as if it was like Galactus or like any one of those types of things.
Ooh,
where it
don't
could
get
have
into the
been something
Galactus thing.
I
I
don't
don't
want
think
to
we're
do
there
that.
yet.
I don't want to go with that because a lot of people are going to be like, "Really? You're gonna
Yeah,
start
where'd you
throwing
get
out
that
the
from?
Mephisto
Yeah.
shit? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so, but it just seemed like timing wise, everything just seemed too perfect for timing wise, and it was just too many things that just did not seem normal. The
Yeah.
green shooting of the energy, there were some things that you just never knew Loki to be able to do, and I'm kind of like, I don't know. I really don't know.
So it's crazy because I thought, okay, so remember I told you about the whole, like, he put her under some type of spell, right? So maybe this is her thinking it. This is why he's able to stop the building from falling, right? But then I started thinking, and then I saw some videos on it because I'm crazy and I just started looking at other theories. And I seen a lot of people say the same thing that I was thinking, but I never said it. Where in the first episode, you remember when he says, "Oh, these are Infinity Stones," and they're like, "Yeah, we just use them as paperweight." you never see him put the green stone back, which I believe is a time stone. Did he hold on to that time stone, and was he able to do movements based off of that time stone that we know he never put back? Because in the episode, you never see him put it back. He has it in his hand. And they mention this in all these videos on YouTube. So I'm like, is this true? Can this be?
You really got me speechless on that, because that's, especially if you're in the TVA. And on top of that too, when he got back to the TVA to go get her, he got his daggers out of the locker.
Yeah,
so what else is in these lockers that they have? If they're just paperweights, what else can he grab?
Know. Yeah, he said everyone uses that paperweight. So I don't know. These are just theories, people. Do not take what I'm saying serious. But take it serious in the back pocket.
He said it here. He said it here first.
Hold on
Marvel's
to it.
coming for our ass. That's it. Marvel's coming.
But that's the thing, right? We never see him do that power. First of all, the green Hadouken and then holding up and pushing the tower back. Now, in this take, right, when they're running and they're fighting people, it looks like it's just one take. Obviously, there's some edits, right? But it's just a one take of the entire movement, them fighting and running, and then it stops. And like you said, like everything stops. And then the episode just ends, right? So now I'm thinking, okay, who saves them? Now, can Mobius find them? Because now he knows how this variant of Loki works because he gave him the hint in episode 2. So do they start going to all these Nexus and Apocalypse events and start looking like, oh, where can we find these Loki variants? And he just so happens to pull up there, grab them, and then in the 4th episode, they're like, they're detained, and then they escape, and then, I don't know, because how do they get out of that?
Doctor Strange.
No. Why would Doctor Strange be there, bro? Now
because
you're just making shit up.
They're in the multiverse.
I know, but why would Doctor Strange, out of all people, know that these people are here for whatever reason? Well, he was just thinking, you know what? Let me just go to 2077 to this apocalypse event. Doctor Strange has nothing to do with this.
From the beginning to end of time, he knows everything.
Oh no!
No, that's a different theory altogether. I'm not gonna do it to you. I'm not gonna do it to you. But no, I really don't like. That's probably is the way it's gonna work out.
Mobius has to save them.
Yeah. Because Mobius is going to have to go to the apocalyptic event to be able to go get them. Like, he knows already, like you said, too. They went to Pompeii. So the idea would just be to just keep going that route and just go...
Yeah.
Because time works different. So they can just keep jumping to every single one of them until they finally get them.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking.
He did mention, too, he's like, we don't make it off the rock.
Yeah.
He said that we don't make it off. So... And you know that they're not going to kill him off. I mean...
No.
A given. So...
That's what I'm thinking. I'm and then I still have that in the back of my mind that this is just a mind trick of Loki's. He's known for doing stuff like so maybe this is just a mind trick, a hack or something. And then in episode 4, she wakes up and he's in the suit, and then they actually get off of that planet. I don't know.
Who's to say it's him doing the mind trick and not her? Because she has the power already. He doesn't have that power. Well, we don't know he does not. But it could be her.
You got me. I'm stumped. Now I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. You may be right.
It could be her doing it. And she's... I mean, it could possibly be. It could be her doing that where she's doing the powers. But you're seeing it because, again, we know for a fact Marvel, they love to do those camera angle tricks and everything else too, where we, as the viewer, gets fucked up. So... It could be where, because think about it this way. When she did it, we've seen her do it to another person.
Yeah, right. And it was in the beginning of the episode.
And
he was drinking too. Remember, he took 2 drinks of the champagne.
Ooh. First thought I did have though too, was when the champagne first came.
Mm-hmm.
He comes walking in his uniform.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody questions the fact that there's an officer just hanging out with them. Second of all, they bring you 2 drinks. She just quickly turns it down. I don't drink, and gives him the other one. Could the drink be something?
I don't know. This is good, man.
And there's only 2 more episodes left. No, 3 more.
No, three. Now, before we end, I wanna touch on this because it shocked me and I didn't know, and it's all over the internet today, right? And it's the fact that Loki's bisexual, right?
Yes.
Now, I don't know how much research you've done, or maybe you're already aware of this. I didn't know that. is this something that's true in the comic books? Do you know?
As far as I know, in the comic books, it's been known that Loki is gender fluid.
Yeah.
So gender fluid being the fact that it's neither, he could be a male or a female. So there is no real, like, he's basically asexual in a way, I guess is the right word for that. I'm not
Yeah.
really too sure if that's the right word. But as far as being bisexual, though, I really don't know. I haven't read the comics with him like that.
Okay.
So I don't know for sure, but I would have figured as much because, I mean, being the fact that he's gender fluid, I mean, there's no real one way or the other with that. I mean, so yeah, it's going to be all over the internet today regardless, because either pro, against, whatever it is, you're going to see it on the internet. Like, it's going to be discussions left and right all around today.
Yeah, so I don't have a problem with this. I just didn't know. I was a little confused based on what was said in that particular scene when they're on the train. Now, this is a quote coming from the Loki director of this episode, Kate Herron. Took to Twitter shortly after the third episode revealed Loki's bisexuality to say, from the moment I joined Loki, it was very important to me and my goal to acknowledge Loki was bisexual. It is a part of who he is. And this is coming from IGN. They quoted her, and I didn't know that. And I think if this is who he is, then that's who you have to make that available to the audience, right? Like, you can't
100%.
hide that. So if this is true, I don't know. I don't know Loki's comic book, but I think if that is the case, then fine. So be it. Now, I'm against you making characters that were never gay in the comic books just say, like, Peter Parker's now bisexual. What?
Right.
No. So I'm happy with if this is who Loki is in the comic book, then stand by it. I appreciate that. But don't just make a random character. That's what I thought. I'm like, oh wait, did they just throw it out there, or is this who he is? So.
Okay, so it is in the comic books. It's worth pointing out that yes, Loki is canonically gender fluid and pansexual in the comics.
Okay.
It's not something that Marvel Studios just jumped up. It's all right there in the Marvel comics. There's a comic here too.
I respect it.
So yeah, so there is in the comics though too. Because it says too, like, my culture doesn't really share your concept of sexual identity. There are sexual acts. That's it. I'm actually the patron god of a certain popular one, believe it or not. So yeah, so cannot, whatever the hell it is.
Oh, hold on. I think I muted you by mistake. Ask to unmute. I think you need to unmute. I pressed mute by mistake. You good?
Am I unmuted now? Thank you.
No. There was some feedback coming back, and I was trying to fix it, and I pressed it by mistake.
So, yeah. But it's in the comics, though. It is canon in the comics.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I just want to see. Okay. Hello? Yeah, okay. No, it was just my headphones. You remember last time this happened to us?
At least you're not going, like, all delayed again, though. We got no delay, so that's a benefit.
Yeah. We're right. Usually we use Discord to do this type of thing. But shout outs to Fresco. He said for me to try out Zoom. There was no delay, and we're using Zoom. So it looks like we'll be using Zoom for the future when we do these episodes. So yeah, no, I thought this was, if that was it, then yeah, then that's fine. I appreciate them, being honest and using the character's actual traits from the comic book. Right. So, but other than that, I thought this episode overall was, like I said in the beginning, I thought it was a filler. We did get some information based on the variants that work for the TVA, and it left me, when it ended, it left me upset because I'm like, every episode has left me wanting more, and now you give me this crazy cliffhanger. And of course, now I want more than I want in the last 2 episodes. And,
oh yeah.
And then, if I had to rate this, and I'm gonna give my rating from 1 to 10, I will say this was probably like a 6.5, because it wasn't all bad. I love the chemistry and a little bit of the background that we got from both Loki and Sylvie, but I just wanted more, and they didn't give me that. And I want to put IGN on blast. How you put every episode that's come out equal to 7? First episode 7, second episode 7, now the third episode 7. So you're saying they were all the same? No, there's no way. Episode 2 blew out episode 1 out of the water and is way better than episode 3. So IGN, you need to get your shit together, bro. I love you guys.
I'll agree with that.
But you can't tell me that they're all 7s, bro. And if they're all gonna be 7s, you gotta give episode 3 at least a 6.
If you want to do that, yeah, because I will say I'll agree with that too. 3 was not as good as 1 or 2. 2 was definitely better than 1.
Yeah.
I would say so far it's 2, 1, 3.
Yeah.
But It really depends on how they're going. If they're going according to the story, or if they're going according to action. I mean, each one had their own strong points, but
So how would you rate
three
this
was not
episode?
equal. I would say 6.5 to 7, but my other
Okay.
ones have been like 7.5, 8. So I would say 6.5.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you felt like this was an enjoyable episode. This is something that you're like, okay, I liked it. Like,
yeah, it was.
you're
It was
acceptable.
enjoyable. It was an enjoyable episode. The back and forth, and I did say to my wife too that it does remind me a lot of Doctor Who in a way.
Oh, I never
Like
seen
the
it, so I don't know.
like the talking back and forth and dialogue and all
Mm-hmm.
was very like like Doctor Who esque, sort of like side dialogue. So
Okay.
I'm used to something like that. So it wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't pure action. It wasn't Falcon
Yeah,
Winter
yeah.
Soldier. It wasn't every episode of jumping off.
No, I get it.
But I mean, if you're going there looking for action, you're not going to get it. But you
Yeah.
did get some, and it got. Like I said earlier, it was a slow burn, but I definitely think it came to a good ending.
Now,
So,
do you think this is what I'm thinking? I just thought about it now. We could have got rid of this entire episode and maybe kept 5 minutes of it and put it towards another action-packed episode and got rid of 3. Instead of being 6 episodes, it would have been 5. That's what I mean by this is like a filler. I feel like the comments that were made towards the end about the variants working at TVA, not knowing that they're human, you could have gave me that in an action-packed episode 4 as they go into different timelines. That's what I wanted. And they're probably going to give it to me next episode. And I'm upset that I got to wait for that shit.
I don't think you're gonna get what you're expecting to get.
I know. I never do. This is my life.
Because I definitely think, like we see in the commercial, we know that there's the Mongolian episode
Yeah,
with the mayor or
yep. I
whatever.
think that's going to be next one. I thought it was going to be
But-
this one, but it's probably going to be the next one.
You know what's gonna end up happening though, and I think you're gonna be upset about it.
Oh, don't
next
do this.
episode, you're not gonna see Lady Loki. You're not gonna see Loki.
It's going to
Next
be the
episode is
Mobius
gonna be
episode in
The
TVA.
Mobius episode in TVA, and they're gonna go find, and they're gonna go to another time, and they're gonna find that variant of Loki.
Another
The Toki
variant.
You gotta find Toki, which is a variant of Loki, and the
Oh.
Mongolian. That's what I think is gonna happen. Because remember, that one has the horns. He has the mayor
Yeah,
suit.
yeah.
So I think you're gonna find that version and that.
I'm not ready, man.
So yeah,
All
man.
right.
We're
Well,
gonna see what happens, but
yeah, I'm excited. What do you think that this series is gonna go towards? Do you still feel like it's gonna lean towards opening up the worlds for Spider-Man and
100%.
Multiverse of Madness? Like, you think that's still
100%.
the thing? I think so too.
Because I think that they're gonna end it, and they're gonna end it with a cliffhanger.
Yeah, like they always done in the last 3 episodes.
It's gonna be they're gonna end the season showing Kank.
That would be good. That would be because then that would set up Ant-Man and get the hype.
Because remember that theory we showed you, we were talking about too, that this could be taking place where they're in the quantum realm already.
Yeah.
So I mean, because they travel everywhere and anywhere they want to. Maybe they just learned a way to harness that quantum realm thing. Because remember one thing too, this is the only thing. They travel by rectangles. Everything else we've ever seen has always been hexagons.
Oh, yes. You're right.
So could it be a possibility of good versus bad? Bad travels by rectangle, good travels by hexagon. Who the hell knows?
Now the
Because
shapes
think about
are,
it. No, because think about it this
evil
way:
and-
when in Endgame, when all the Avengers and everybody else come through, they come through the circle from Doctor Strange or whatever. But how does everybody else show up?
Bro, why are you making me think of shapes, bro? This is not what this is about. No, it's true. They coming through circles, the hexagons, and whatever trapezoids, and whatever you want to, whatever. Listen, I just think that I do think this will open up, because I feel like WandaVision and Falcon and Winter Soldier, they didn't push the envelope forward for phase 4, right? That's what we're getting into. Are we getting into phase 4? Is this what it is? Or phase 5? I don't think it's pushing it like, now you can expect this in phase 5. I don't even think Black Widow push, and I hope that they do. I hope at the end of Black Widow it pushes it, because I know it takes place between Civil War and Infinity War. But I don't think those episodes, those shows pushed anything forward for phase 5. I do believe that. And I believed it from the beginning, Loki is going to push it for phase 5 and get you excited for what's to come, because after this, you got all the movies. You got Shang-Chi, you got Eternals, you got Spider-Man, Multiverse, and then there's still more shows to come after that. But from here moving forward, I think it sets everything up, and I can't wait to see at the end what happens.
I agree with that as well too. We're gonna see this is gonna push it forward.
Yeah.
Wanda did set it up a little bit for the multiverse, Young Avengers multiverse, etc.
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier, not so much.
No, he's just Captain America now.
Right, he's just Captain America, so that was kind of like his own little side story. But
Yeah.
um, I think that going forward, the only thing that I think Falcon and Winter Soldier set up for was Black Panther too, because they were talking about like
Yeah.
Wakanda, so that kind of set up a little bit for that, but that was pretty much it.
Are we gonna
because
get
they
the White
showed-
Panther? I know there's a side.
I know. I wonder. Okay. I don't know. We'll see. But
We'll see.
yeah.
Well, anyway, that's going to be it for us today in episode 3. I hope you guys enjoy. Remember, you can catch us every Wednesday after the episode releases. We got 3 more episodes, so you're going to see 3 more episodes of us reviewing, giving our thoughts and theories. And it's always going to be on our YouTube channel, so if you're not subscribed, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. And if you're not subscribed to the audio version, go ahead and do so that way you know whenever we post a new episode. And remember, every Monday, there's going to be a new Keep Gaming podcast episode, so make sure you tune in for that. And anything else you want to say, Johnny, before we go?
No. I want to thank everybody for coming through, and keep gaming, I guess.
All right. And that's it for us. Until next time, keep gaming. Peace.